You woke up in the morning and you head out of the shed. You got this idea, it's floating on your head. As you open the door, don't fear to you. While you were here, what you gonna do? Took hammer and chisel, yes you knew that you would. Oh yeah, timber, it's feeling good, it's wood. You hopped on your hobby horse, you gave a big shout. Giddy up, yee-ho, it's a timber.
Good afternoon, hobbyists and enthusiasts, and welcome to another installment of The Hobby Horse, where you get to have a gander at me do what I did to this. Now, if you watched my last video, you would have seen that I spruced up my workbench and table saw bench with a nice piece of trim that I stained and then gave the table a light varnish. I am really happy with how that turned out, so I'm going to do the same thing to this bench here. 620 that side, and then we've got 1930. I'll just double check this end. That one is 600, and then the height all the way around is 110 millimeter. All right, now that we've measured the height and length of the timber we are going to need, I will select a few pieces of timber, I'll run it through the thicknesser, and then we'll rip them down to size. I'm going to need 2 pieces for this. I won't fuss too much. I don't want to be here all day and the next day and the next day. If you've watched any of my previous videos, you'll realize this is one of my new pride and joys. Let's watch it rip again. Alright, so it's important to note that I am being a little bit slack. Because this is a facing board and only one side will be visible, I've just taken enough off the back side just to even it out a little bit. And as long as I can see that it's mostly touching each of the edges, I'm happy. The other side, I want it to be clean. It's also important to note that I don't have a particular thickness in mind, other than that I wanted to try and have them both the same thickness, so when the 2 corners join, there won't be any sort of funny overlap. So I made this little nifty box here to direct the shavings from the thicknesser back onto the table instead of all over my workshop. So as you can see here, there's very little on the ground, and the cardboard box is deposited in a nice pile right there. I'd say that this little beauty is a success. That's interesting. Got a nick cut out here. I wonder how I did that. Anyway, first I'm going to rip one of the edges down a bit. So what I'm going to do is cut off 5mm. That should catch anything that's wonky. So I'm going to take that to 145. I'm going to zip them both through, and then I will take it down to the 110mm and cut along the other side. Lock that in place. Let's go. Okay, so I'm really happy with how that worked out. I've got 2 spare bits of timber that I can use for something else. I'm really happy with how the workbench is working. I previously just used it as a job saw and thought, oh, I can't wait till I replace it. This is all kind of a bit temporary, and for that reason I can't go get a giant carpenter saw and sit it on the gravel on the ground where rain comes through. I decided to work out how to use it as best I could, try and utilize some of its strength. Part of that was building that workbench table for it to give it a nice solid foundation and an outflow. So a few more little things I've got to do with that, but otherwise just ripping those 2 there. I'm really quite happy with how quickly I did it and how accurate it is. And I'm just going to give my timber a little measure and just check how it's come through. I thought that for a second there it wasn't accurate, that it was 1 centimetre shorter at the other end, but I was wrong. It's good. And we got 110. So I'm now going to measure them to length and cut off some 45s. Stay tuned for a demonstration. The old trusty pencil. Alright, so let's hope this is square. Oh, that's pretty good. Okay, so I've finished cutting those to length and the 45s. I've tested them on the bench behind me and they all fit perfectly. The next thing I'll show you is me routing the edges. Okay, so this stain is quite messy. I got quite a crude method of doing it. So essentially I just take my piece of wood like that, I get some of this stain, dab it on there, then dab it in the water, and then just try and spread it out as quick as I can. And, I was trying to avoid that, and just try and get it all on. But essentially, there it is. I've gone from being quite a light colour to quite a dark colour, and get to work on this next one. You can see again, turned out quite nice. The one thing I can tell you is that doesn't go far. You can see there, got my 3 pieces. Okay, so the stain on the trim has now dried and is ready to install on the bench. So these little slithers of timber I've just tacked on there because when I built this bench underneath I didn't get it square. So when I put the ply on, there's this little overhang through here. Yeah?
I'm making an egg and avocado on toast. Do you want one?
Yes, please. All right, before I move this over, I'm just going to place some cardboard down on my other bench top so I don't ruin it. Just right there. Thank you. Yeah. avocado with homemade bantam eggs.
You made it this far and you like what you see. You want some more, so you give a thumbs up to me. You can't get enough and you're wondering if it's time. Well, subscribe to my channel and listen for that chime.